What's the crack, everybody? Listen to the Discus Larry Collective Podcast. I'm your host, Warren, here with Glenn. And today we're just going to do, I suppose, a video that a lot of people are going to be doing, a quick little news thing. But it's about...
Ours is better.
but it's just about the WWE releases right now. And also we're going to touch on AEW real quick. But yeah, just to get into it, I suppose, WWE Black Wednesday this time last year. And again, it seems to be happening once again. And so there's been 9 people released as of recording right now. I don't know if there'll be any more released tonight or tomorrow, but again, we'll keep you up to date on it anyway if you are watching it here. But yeah, so the names that were released today was Wesley Blake, most commonly known from like Blake and Murphy, and then the Forgotten Sons, Bo Dallas, Kalisto, Tucker from Heavy Machinery, Chelsea Green, Mickey James, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, and the pick of the bunch, I suppose you could say, Samoa Joe. So some big names there in terms of what they've done in the company. Obviously, the IIconics, fantastic tag team. Samoa Joe, obviously, one of them travesties that never won the world title. Ridiculous, really, when you think about how good he is on the mic, in the ring, and anything else he touches turns to gold, realistically. And then the likes of Kalisto, Bo Dallas, and Chelsea Green, Mickey James, they're all workhorses anyway. The ones that I suppose you could say lower down the pecking order would be the likes of, say, a Wesley Blake or a Tucker, stuff like that. You know what I mean? But again, releases, they're going to say budget cuts. They made £1 million off the Peacock deal. There's no way it's budget cuts. They've also outshunned themselves with WrestleMania this year as well. So it's just a shame. It feels very predetermined, unfortunately. But yeah, Glenn, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, we were touching on it before the show. Like, I think the big one out of them all is Samoa Joe. He was cleared to come back for competition, and now he's not around. Now you never know. We obviously got some stuff happen last year with some people returning and coming back and to and fro, which would be interesting to see if this is all the work for one or two of the names. Maybe be very interesting to see that. But we obviously had Kalisto return at his Memorial Battle Royal. Yeah, look, it's disappointing. But like, obviously, I hope for all of the people who do get to progress in the career. Maybe we get the IIconics return and move over to another company. I think a company like AEW could do well with Samoa Joe, and a company like, let's say, as you pointed out to me, like Impact could do with, say, the IIconics. So I just hope that all the wrestlers get to keep going on their career and maybe make something better themselves, like McIntyre did, which would be pretty good.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like, more so on a human being level, regardless of other performers or this, that, and the other. It's obviously, still in the pandemic. And a lot of companies are kind of chock full of wrestlers right now. Like AEW is fairly bloated. Like with wrestlers. Yes, some of them aren't being built as well as some others, but regardless, they have basically 3 shows now. That's how big that roster is. So you can almost think to yourself, like, oh Jesus, who's going to pick up who? As we said, you could talk about it all day. And fantasy book, this, that, and the other, but we won't go too far into it. We're just saying, like, on a moral level, it feels wrong to release people like that. It's not like, for example, if I'm in work, say, and my boss, like, look, things aren't up to scratch, he tells me that first. That's how human beings connect. Do you know what I mean? In a day-to-day, a real-world scenario, you're talked to about stuff first. It's not just you get a phone call off John Laurinaitis husking down the phone and you'll be like, oh, how's it going, pal? It's not really working out. That's not how it should be, unfortunately. But
now, do we maybe think that there could be a degree of foreshadowing with maybe last year? Like, I know we're saying that right now it's a year on, tail end of the pandemic, performance can only improve. But at the end of the day, if they're looking at it from a business performance perspective, and similarly to what you were explaining just now, if you worked in a phone center, which to a degree is very comparable to wrestling in a way, if you worked in a call center and your only statistic is your pure performance metric, and the performance metric wrestlers use is engagement with the fans, and obviously numbers, merchandise, are you putting butts in seats, are you on first or last, are you engaging yourself, or are you just trying to get by and get a few meals together for yourself? Ultimately, at the end of the day, your job there is to be an entertainer. It's to gain notoriety. It's to become relevant. Do whatever you have to do. Pull out your stops. Become like Zack Ryder, do it online, or like the New Day lads did with the YouTube channel. Or if you have to build your own wrestling company, like, All Elite, you do what you have to do. And maybe these lads were maybe given the first warning last year, be like, look, you're not quite at the tail end yet. But obviously, we also know some of the people who got sacked last year alongside this year were unlimited potential individuals. So, like you said, just disappointed for the people involved.
It really is, And as we said, all you can do is hope they'll all land on their feet. I'm sure they will. like every one of them is
exactly,
talented in their own way in that group. So yeah, I can't see any kind of flops here and there. But yeah, we'll leave it at that anyway. We can move on, and we'll chat about it more, obviously, if more develops, if we find out, oh well, actually this was said to them, or whatever sort of reports come out, we can kind of touch on that then. But we'll move on to some good news, I suppose, in the day, and it's AEW and their ratings. Now, we're not ones that really particularly get involved in the whole ratings war and this, that, and the other.
Doesn't matter in Ireland.
Exactly. We're over on this little tiny island here, so we don't give a shit really. Like I will watch AEW on an illegal stream rather unscrupulous methods, but that's what I do. And then
the guards are gonna get you.
Yeah. So and then the same way NXT, like when that was on the network, I'd watch it every night. Like every time it was on was live. Well, yeah, no, I'll catch it when I can, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll watch it on YouTube, I'll watch highlights, I'll watch Daily Motion. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, realistically, it doesn't make a difference here and there over in Ireland. But yeah, big news for AEW. It was their first night unopposed last night on Dynamite, and they smashed the 1 million viewer barrier. And they did it by quite a bit as well, 1.2 million views. They were number 2 on the TV as well. I think they outperformed NBA as well, which is huge, to be honest with you. So, fair balls. They're
currently stood at about 60% of the viewership of Raw. Raw's had well over 20 years to establish that viewership consistently. They've only been increasing it. This is an exciting time from the week that we got in it. Very stacked, very tough 10-day period of watching wrestling for fans. And they're on the very end of what could be called fan burnout, post-Mania, post-NXT, last week's obviously Dynamite as well. So very, very thinly stretched attention span of fans where people will start to fall off and tune out, and they manage to smash 1 million, which is fucking fantastic. We should touch on a couple of the high points of the night, maybe.
Well, that's it.
I mean, tag team match.
Yeah, like that thing, as you were saying about fan burnout. If you had started off AEW Dynamite this week with any other match, you might well have gotten that fan burnout, or people have been like, you know what, I'll watch it tomorrow, I'll catch the highlights. But they started off opening a match, Young Bucks against two towards of the Death Triangle, Pac and Fenix. And my God, I only tweeted about it a few hours before that match, and I was like, Pac, obviously, he's one of my favorites. He was as Neville or whatever he was called in WWE, but he's just fantastic, and he's only getting better. Like, he had a great match with Walter OTT over here and stuff, where his finger actually dislocated and he had to snap it back in while wrestling. So yeah, the man's a legend. But I'm dying to see more of him, and I think we got a good bit of him as well there in that tag team match. And it was the Bucks of old, do you know what I mean? That kind of classic heel Young Bucks. It's fantastic.
That is their best work. The Bucks, the Elite shouldn't be a face. They just shouldn't.
No, they shouldn't.
Their best work as it is. Can we? What was I going to say to you? I was only going to ask. Can we touch on how the lads looked as a whole, like from the match? That's what I wanted to say to you. So, do you remember how yesterday? I believe it was yesterday or the day before. We were like, oh yeah, man, NXT, fuck it, and that one particular match stood out as match of the week.
Yeah,
we won't dip too much into it, but then we said, oh, would it get dethroned this week?
Yeah.
It's a fucking tight contest now.
What about that tag match?
Oh, yeah.
It was whopper. That's the thing. It had it felt like it was the right amount of high spots, right amount of kind of out there moments. Then you had the right amount of wrestling. And it worked really well. And then the heel work as well. And it pushed obviously Pac and Fenix to play more of a face role in it as well, which was very good. And it just showed all 4 performers do what they can do best. Do you know what I mean? And the Bucks obviously one of if not the best tag team on the planet, and they have been for a while. And then you look at Fenix, everyone's touting him to be like the next big thing in AEW, and you can see it. He has everything in leaps and in spades really. And then the likes of the unmasking him, stuff like that. Then obviously he's covering the face, doesn't see the finish, double super kick, just pure heel tactics. Just a fantastic match, a great way to start the show. We won't go too much into the rest of the card, but we had obviously then Jericho had a great match as well with Dax, and Tyson was at ringside. And then we also had another high spot then, I suppose, was the finish or the main event. We had
Hardy and Darby Allin.
Yeah, fantastic match all round. Real good as well to see, like, obviously Darby Allin getting in there then with the likes of a Matt Hardy, you know what I mean? And I'm sure Matt tipped the cap to him as well. Like, and Matt was only after losing his dad, I think 3 or 4 days.
Literally 3 days.
Yeah. So that's like fair balls to him. It's a testament to his work rate and what he is as a person as well. So fair folks. The only thing I had to say, and we both agreed on it, was that the big brawl, it doesn't need to happen right there and then. Do you know what I mean? You could have left it till even after the match. It would have had a bit more bearing, but whatever. That's the route they went. But overall, really good episode of AEW.
Definitely get your eyes onto that tag team match and check out some of the segments that we got from the likes of Hangman Page, and some of the promo work we got off throughout the night was just excellent. So if you can find yourself the highlights, go onto their YouTube channel and check that one out because it's a good show.
Yeah, absolutely. But we'll wrap this video up here then anyway, because we didn't want to spend too long on it. We just wanted to touch on the releases from WWE, unfortunately, and then the great news then of AEW smashing that 1 million viewer barrier. But yeah, so if you're watching this on YouTube, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and then wherever you're getting your podcast, give us a follow on there as well. It really help us out. And you can hit us up on the socials, the Discus Lariat on Twitter, Discus Lariat Collective on Instagram. And then until next time, see you soon.